Hello, this is Francis Gaskins with IPODesktop.com, and I'm joined today by Bill Tighe. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Good morning, and good. And yourself?
Fine, thank you very much. Bill is president of Kodiak Energy, which is KDKN.OB, and they've made a lot of progress and got some very interesting kind of results and ideas here to share with you in this virtual PowerPoint presentation. We've also done a CU interview that you may want to listen to. It's linked to from our analyst report, which is at IPODesktop.com. Look at the price trade middle column, go to the bottom, which says analyst report. Statements contained in this interview, including those pertaining to estimates related to plans, potential mergers, acquisitions, growth, establishing new markets, expansion into new markets, and related plans other than statements of historical fact, are forward-looking and subject to a number of uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from statements made. Well, Bill, you've got an exciting company here and made a lot of progress, and perhaps you could share part of this with the viewer and the listener.
Oh, thank you very much, Francis. Yes, we're very proud of where we got to date. We've been at it for a couple of years now, just getting the company up and going. And to date, we've established a substantial land base for the company. We've done some preliminary exploration, and we've taken it to the point where we have some substantial upside ahead of us and for the shareholders. And we're getting ready to the point where we take it to the next level, that being drilling. Mm-hmm. We're reporting on both U.S. and Canada and seeking a TSX listing in the near future. Basically, the highlights of the company of this, as I mentioned, we've got a substantial land base, Little Chicago, Northwest Territories. This is just above the Arctic Circle, north of Norman Wells on the Mackenzie River Valley. And we believe there's a potential there for up to 1 billion barrels of oil in place at shallow and multi and medium depth. The Tucumcari Basin in northeast Mexico, we've got some wells there that have demonstrated commercial volumes of CO2, as well as we believe there's we've seen hydrocarbon in the well bores and other potentials there. So those two alone are large company maker type projects, and I think any major company would be proud to have those on their books. Also, we have two other projects in our land base, one in northeast BC, which has potential for short-term production, as well as we've got a large land position in Fort McMurray. And I'll point out, this is not oil sands, this is conventional oil gas, 64 sections, but it is very close to that large Fort McMurray operations, and they need a lot of energy, so we see this as a good opportunity. So just to jump straight to the Little Chicago, it's colloquially called Little Chicago. It's an actual exploration license granted by the Government of Canada. Large prospective resource here. We just finished an engineering report recently by an independent firm, and they have estimated 118 million barrels of recoverable, and there's some other offsets in the area. So we believe that this is a world-class oil and gas at shallow to medium, and this picture really shows why people have been so interested in this property. And that's actual oil running into the river, the Mackenzie River, seeping out of the ground. That's taken from about 500 feet up. And this is some of the attractiveness of this. There's open demonstration of the hydrocarbon there. We've got structure, we've got reservoir, and so all of the key things that geologists look for when they're working on a property.
And that Chapman report's on your website now.
That's right, and so it's there available. We just finished 84 kilometers of seismic this past winter. We're quite proud of what we got done there in a very short period of time. From that, we've established some potential drilling targets. We intend on doing some additional seismic this winter to firm up the drilling targets, and we'd be going back in the winter of 2008-9 to drill those wells. And again, from the report, we have initial production of as much as 1,000 barrels per well per day. And then we'd be looking to convert this to a long-term license after that point in time. Just give you a sense of the work we did. We're very proud. I keep saying that. Very environmentally friendly, low impact. Used a lot of local employment. In a very short period of time, we managed to get a lot done up there. From the Chapman report, two zones targeted, and as I said, we'll probably go in when we go into drill and target both zones with one well. Chapman has done in the report, and you can see it. If you wish, there's a detailed analysis, risk evaluation, and what they believe the risks would be, and they support Kodiak proceeding with the work program.
Yes, that's a major report that the listener and viewer may want to go look at on your site.
The other major project is the New Mexico. Again, it's a substantial project. We believe we've got access to a good CO2 source as well as hydrocarbon at deeper structures. We've got an existing pipeline through the property for immediate production. And Kodiak's got a good land base, 100% of 55,000 acres in that area. And then, so it's a project within a project, both hydrocarbon and CO2 in the well bores. This next one gives you a sense of where it is. It's just offset from the Bravo domes, and these are some of the potential targets as well as production numbers that we expect to see. Go a little slower. It's got some pictures in it. At Fort McMurray, we've got 84 sections of land, 41,000 acres gross. We've got 50% working interest. We're the operator of the larger block to the top. Really good access to infrastructure. The city of Fort McMurray is immediately adjacent. So the marketing of hydrocarbon that would be feeding into the large oil sands plants. I've jumped over the Lucy part of the presentation. There's some confidential information there, but Lucy has a good potential for hydrocarbon, and there's been a lot of offset wells in the area, and so really good opportunity for cash flow in the short term. This slide here just shows some of the gravity maps in the Fort McMurray area. We intend on doing a seismic program in Q4 this year, and then a 6 to 8 well drilling program in next year. And this should generate some nice solid cash flow for the company. The management board of directors for Kodiak, we're managed to pull together a good team at the management level. Mark Galati, 15 years in the oil and gas industry. MLA for Alberta for over a decade, and a former director of Syncrude. Myself, 30 plus years in Canadian and international operations, major projects from design through construction, commissioning, and operations and maintenance, with some fairly large international and domestic companies in Canada. A large diversified experience, progressive management. Bill Brimacom, 35 years again of financial management of public and private companies on both U.S. and Canada. And Glenn Watt, director of our operations, vice president of operations, I'm sorry. He's got 15 years of experience, of which, excuse me, he drilled a lot of very difficult wells in difficult situations for many years. Mark Jones, 45 years, domestic and international,